Hello, dear students. I hope you are all doing well. The wait is over. The practice batch is here. It's time to gear up and focus on honing your skills. In this batch, you will get dictations from SSC's previous years, including 2024, 23, 22, and beyond. Each video will feature dictation from one shift. Your responsibility is to practice each of these dictations diligently to achieve excellence. Let us now begin the session. Listen carefully and write with full concentration. All the best. Ready for the shift second matter. Get ready. Start. We have heard with careful attention the statement by the Honorable Minister. It would have been helpful if the Honorable Minister had thought it prudent to give us in advance a copy of the statement which he has just now made. It would have helped us in formulating our own thinking for a discussion of this subject here today, but probably because it was the first time that he was making a statement on foreign policy, he did not consider it necessary to let us have an advance copy. But in future, when the honorable minister makes such statements, I would through you request him to let us have an adverse copy to help us. The statement made by the honorable minister does give a fairly clear idea of how he proposes to handle the various matters that concern his charge. I must commend the transition of a leader of the opposition who used to be fairly critical of the policies followed by the Ministry of External Affairs to the position of being in charge of this ministry, handling the foreign minister relations of the country. I sometimes feel a little jealous of the Honorable Minister because though he may be facing complex and delicate problems in handling our relations with foreign countries, as far as this house is concerned, he would normally get our generous cooperation and support. This has been a historical fact that over the last 50 years, generally, this honorable house has extended its fullest support and cooperation to the government in its functioning and handling of the relations of this country. I consider this to be a natural because foreign relations are in a sense projection of the self interest of the country. Surely, by a change of government, the interests of the country do not change. And also, we are happy that the new government has given this house and the country an assurance that they will pursue the policies that have been the bedrock of the foreign relations of country. There are certain basic fundamental principles which have gone into the formulation of our foreign policy. It is, in a sense, a development of the national movement of the country of the struggle for freedom. I may point out that it has been these countries' endeavor all along to support the freedom movement of various countries in the world of people from colonial rule. Having heard learned counsel for the parties, we have satisfied that the appeals are liable to be dismissed It is well settled that one of the co-owners can file a suit for eviction of a tenant in the property, generally owned by the co-owners. This principle is based on the doctrine of agency. One co-owner filing a suit for eviction against the tenant does so on his own behalf in his own right and as an agent of the other co-owners. The consent of other co-owners is assumed as taken unless it is shown that the other co-owners were not agreeable to eject the tenant and the suit was filed in spite of their disagreement. In the present case, the suit was filed by both the co-owners. One of the co-owners cannot withdraw his consent midway the suit so as to prejudice the other co-owners. The suit once filed, the rights of the parties stand crystallized on the date of the suit and the entitlement of the co-owners to seek ejectment must be adjudged by reference to the date of institution of the suit, the only exception being when by virtue of a subsequent event the entitlement of the body of co-owners to eject the tenant comes to an end by act of properties or by operation of law. In order to cut short further litigation, we are inclined to invoke the jurisdiction vesting in this court under Article 142 of the Constitution as noted in the earlier part of the judgment. The land standing below the structure has been partitioned. The need for partitioning the superstructure standing over the land was not felt by the landlords as the superstructure was just debris in their assessment as they had decided to demolish the same and reconstruct the property separately on their respective pieces of land falling to their respective shares by virtue of partition. In the absence of the superstructure having been actually partitioned, it can be assumed that the superstructure would go with the land and each of the co-owners would in any case be entitled to that part of the superstructure which corresponds with the land underneath has fallen to the separate shares of the two. During the pendency of this appeal, we had directed the parties to explore possibility of settlement if any and also to draw an agreed map of the property showing the house property divided into two portions indicated in separate colors so as to point out that part of the property to which the heirs of Baldev would be entitled and that part of the property to which Ramadevi and now her transferees would be entitled. Unfortunately, the parties have not been able to draw an agreed map. Both the parties have filed their separate maps. On a perusal of the two maps, we do not find any substantial difference therein. Stop. So, how was the dictation? I hope you managed it. Write it well. Don't forget to share your scores in the comments. I do Love to know how you did. By the way, the dictation was clear, right? Let me know if you faced any issues. Keep practicing regularly, and I am sure you will do great in your exams. Good luck and keep up the hard work. Thank you so much.